Central Park, New York. Central Park is one of those places that make New York such a great place to live. The huge park, 341 hectares large, is located in the center of Manhattan. Its design has served as an example for city parks around the world. The park boasts several lakes, theaters, ice rinks, fountains, tennis courts, baseball fields, many playgrounds and other facilities. It is also home to the Central Park Zoo and the Metropolitan Museum of Art. Especially during the weekends, when cars are not allowed into the park, Central Park is a welcome oasis in this hectic city. When the terrain for Central Park was bought by the city of New York in 1853, it was far away from civilization, somewhere between the city of New York and the village Harlem. The area contained sheds from colonists, quarries, pig farms and swamps. In 1857, the city of New York organized a competition for the design of this new park, which had to rival with the great parks in London and Paris. A design by Frederick Law Olmsted and Calvert Vaux, named the Greensward Plan, was chosen. This plan featured an English-style landscape with large meadows, several lakes and hills. Winding pedestrian roads were separated from main roads and the huge number of trees ensured the city's buildings were not visible from within the park. To convert the swampy area into the park the designers had envisioned, several 100,000 trees were planted, more than 3 million cubic yards of soil was moved, roads and bridges were constructed and a large reservoir was dug out. It took more than 15 years before the 20,000 workers had completed the park. Central Park immediately became a popular place for all New Yorkers, attracting millions of visitors each year. Frederick Law Olmsted's goal was to create a place where people could relax and meditate. He saw the park as a kind of social experiment where people from both upper and lower classes would meet, a rather revolutionary idea at that time. After the appointment of Robert Moses in 1934 as New York City Parks Commissioner, the focus of the park shifted from relaxation to recreation. During Moses's 26-year tenure he constructed many sports facilities, playgrounds and the Wallman Rink. He also renovated the zoo, and installed several sculptures including Alice in Wonderland. After the departure of Moses in 1960, Central Park started to decline. Graffiti, garbage and criminality kept both citizens and tourists from visiting the park. In the 1970s the park became a symbol of New York City's decline. The tide started to turn in 1980 when a group of citizens created the Central Park Conservancy. Together with the city, it started a $50 million renovation project. Several parts of the park, including Sheep Meadow and Bethesda Terrace, were restored. 3 employees were hired to remove the graffiti. It took them 3 years to complete this task. Criminality was reduced with the deployment of a large police force. Thanks to these efforts by both the city and private groups, Central Park is now a relatively clean and safe place, visited by more than 30 million people each year. There's plenty to see and do in Central Park. Sports facilities can be found all over the park, but most of the interesting sites are found in the lower half of Central Park. Come across historical buildings, statues, monuments, beautiful bridges, and of course plenty of nature. Some of it is quite rugged like the forest-like ramble, while other parts of the park are more manicured and feature beautiful flowers and shrubs. There are 18 gated entrances to the park. Each of them has its own name. Several of these gates are ornate, such as the Vanderbilt Gate, Engineers Gate, and in particular Merchants Gate at Columbus Circle. Many people enter via the Scholars Gate at Grand Army Plaza, near Fifth Avenue, which leads to a nice pond with a beautiful stone bridge. More to the north is one of the park's most popular attractions, Central Park Zoo. The zoo has exhibits divided into several regions such as a tropic zone and polar circle. Some of its popular residents include polar bears, snow leopards, red pandas and penguins. Just north of the Central Park Zoo is the Tisch Children's Zoo, where small children can see and touch domestic animals. West of the Central Park Zoo is the Dairy, a Victorian-style cottage created in 1870. The picturesque building houses a visitor center where you can get maps, guides, gifts, and information on events that are planned in Central Park. The dairy is located at a former pasture, where cows graze to provide fresh milk for the city's children, hence the name of the building. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our channel and put thumbs up.